Hello and welcome to Arachnid Arena. Today we're going to be talking about A. felicia for Weird Wednesday, which some of you may know already is none other than the African land snail. So, let's go and meet the snails. So we are back with the snails, which is quite good, so hopefully they'll pop out and start eating their food. About the food, they love their food and they can devour almost anything, so I wouldn't recommend any live plants. As you can see, one's shinier than the other. The shiny one has been in the water, so that's why it's a bit shinier. B, it isn't actually shedding its shell, whereas that the one closest to the camera is actually growing some of its shell, which is why it is a bit smaller at the moment, but hopefully it won't be for long. See, as you can see there, that translucent kind of part is where it's growing some of its new shell. As you can see, they are quite small at the moment. In fact, they're tiny compared to what they can get to. The max they can get to is wait, let me just get them back up. Is a 20 centimeters, which is whopping, considering that they're snails and they're invert, so they don't even have a backbone, which is huge. And by the way, 20 centimeters is the length of the shell, not the actual snail. And the biggest ones can gain up to 1 kilo in weight, which is truly fascinating. As for their setup, they need a water bowl with water in it. Obviously, not too much that they'll drown, but also enough so that they can hydrate, as they love to sit in the water bowl, which is quite odd to see them just hanging out in a water bowl. And they need quite deep substrate because obviously they like to burrow. So as you can see, you can't really see through that, so and I can't really get you over the rim, but you can kind of see there the enclosure and like the soil. I wouldn't usually recommend solid decor, but it is fine if you're not too far away from the top of the enclosure. So that is why at the moment there is obviously the T-Rex skull in there. They can use it to hide, and obviously if they're finding it a bit moist, and then they can go and hide on that. I would also recommend spot cleaning the enclosure every 1 to 2 days. I need to do mine right now, once I finish with this video, but they poo a lot, so you need to watch out for that. It doesn't appear as if they're going to be coming out, but what I will do is, I shall get their lid, and then because my hand's shaking a bit, then hopefully they might come out on the lid so that you can get a proper view of them. Yep, so they should be all fine. Yeah, so what I'd say about the snails is that, let me just get a good view for you. They are quite interesting, especially the way they breed. So, how they breed is that, they're actually, something called parthenogenetic, which means that they have both male and female genes. The good thing about this is that you don't need to worry about having a male and a female if you want eggs, because the likelihood is that they will breed if they're in a suitable enclosure. So keep that in mind before you get some. If you get more than one, you are very, very likely to get eggs. But the way they decide who's male and female is that they have this spear-like appendage that comes out of their body, which has their female genes in it. So obviously the snails don't want to be female, because that would mean that they'd have to then carry the eggs, look after the eggs. So they go into basically a duel. The first one to stab their opponent has then given over the female genes, and that is the snail that will be laying the eggs. As for the eggs, they lay quite a few, and they're usually buried just below the substrate. They are usually like a creamy white colour, so look out for that. Obviously, you cannot keep 500 baby snails. So there are multiple ways in which you can go about this. I say wait about 4 weeks to see survival of the fittest, basically, as some will die. But then keep the ones you like. Give a few out free to like friends and family. Then you can either decide A, to freeze them, which is the most humane way possible to get rid of the rest of the babies. I wouldn't recommend doing this if you have a pet shop close by who are willing to take the snails off your hands. I am seeing some movement from the snails, which isn't very visible on camera, but hopefully that means that they will start coming out soon, once they know there's a bit of food there. They were both up and about before they came out, and just having a look at them, you can see they have that, not the usual shell like a garden snail would, but more like that of a cone shape, so like a spiral swell. You can't really see on the one closest to the camera. Oh, wait a minute, he's coming out the one closest to the camera, I know, interrupting a bit. But you can see on the one far behind those beautiful lines going down that spiral, ending in a creamish coloured tip. So the one nearest to the camera is coming out right now, which is pretty cool. I'm going to zoom back out to get a bit more of focus on the camera, but that's quite good that we've at least been able to see a snail. As you can see, the body is a brownish black, but then has that black stripe running down the back. As for these snails, they are from Africa. I'm pretty sure the tropical parts, and then what they do is when it's dry, then they'll burrow down and basically they can go dormant for ages. So if your pet snail isn't moving and you think it's dead, don't chuck it in the bin straight away. There are usually some ways to check. Like, for example, if it smells terrible, then the likelihood is that your snail has passed. And that second snail is coming out now. But, yeah, they can go still for days, so keep that in mind. I don't know whether that first snail is going to come out anymore, though, because I've made the mistake of putting it on the leaf. So, it's apparently cottoned on that if it just stays in its shell and puts its mouth to the leaf, then it's able to eat it there. So I don't know whether we're going to be able to see those beautiful stripes, but if we do, that would be brilliant. As for their food, as I said, they need food, as all animals do, but they need more food than, for example, a tarantula or something like that. They're happy with almost any greens, so what I'm feeding them there are spinach leaves, but they love fruit as well as a treat, because fruit is obviously a lot more sugary for them, so I wouldn't recommend it all the time. But it's alright as a treat. Like, we all have our treats, don't we? So they can have one too. I also recommend sprinkling calcium dust like this over the food. I haven't for this one because I've just got the food out to give them now. But also cuttlefish bone is good for them, because that gives them a source of calcium. So as you can see, that lovely white part along the shell there is partly calcium, which is how they strengthen their shell. So like we use calcium to strengthen our teeth and nails, they use it to strengthen their shell. The shell's made of keratin, which is exactly the same material as our nails. So like if I put my nails next to them, you can see that it looks very, very similar, the type of material. That second one at the back's coming out a bit more now. It's a bit shyer than that one usually, and it's usually the one that will burrow down a lot more than the others, so I didn't know when getting them, but they do have quite different personalities. I got them from the Coventry Invert Show. I got them free with a little donation from Bugs to Kids, which is a brilliant site which basically gives free bugs or invertebrates to children to basically keep as pets. So this year they had roaches, some isopods, and obviously these lovely land snails, but in other years they've had stick insects and stuff like that, so I'd really recommend them. They gave me the enclosure I'm keeping them in for now, and the substrate. They told me a lot of information about these guys, which I'm saying to you now, basically. So yeah, check them out. And obviously the Coventry Invert Show as well, as that's a really good invert show. As you can see the two longer eyes sticking out of the head, I'm going to call it, that you can see there. And the two smaller ones that look like mini eyes at the bottom are actually what they're tasting with to decide whether something's good to eat. As you can see, gnawing right away at that leaf, and it's been doing this for a few minutes, and yeah, that proves how quickly they can actually devour almost anything. Snails actually have over 500 teeth, which is more teeth than a shark. In a minute I'll put up a picture of a fully grown African land snail to show you, because they are truly immense. I'd recommend them as pets. As I said, remember to spot clean them, turn the soil, and they should be good. Eggs from these guys would be brilliant at some time. On the talk of eggs, snails can be any age to have babies, so keep that in mind. Obviously, older gravid females will lay more eggs than a tiny snail like there is here, but yeah, well, that's about it, I think, and thank you for watching. I'm going to wait a minute because by the looks of it, the second snail is just about popping out, which would be brilliant if we can see him. So leave it a minute or two, and then we will end the video. They need a spray every now and then to make sure it is moist enough. And there we go, we can see him coming right out there. having a little tumble as he does. He looks alright. I don't think he's going to need any help, but I'm going to go and get a coin to show you how big these guys are next to a coin, to show you what size roughly the babies are. These are only a few months old, I'd hazard a guess at, so yeah, quite good. Okay, oh, popped out a bit more again. So this is a British 10p that I'm using as a size comparison. Just plop it next to him and then there you go. You can kind of see what I'm talking about. See, if I put that next to the shower, the fact that that coin is... I'm right next to that snail, and the fact that that coin is almost the same size as the snail's shell, if not the snail shell being a bit bigger, that is truly wonderful. I'm gonna take the coin away because that startled it a bit. So in this video we've managed to see 2 snails. One of the snails eating. One thing that I forgot to mention as well is that when you hold them, make sure you wash your hand before holding them. Don't put any soap on, because obviously we have chemicals on our hands that can burn the snail's soft like skin. Yeah, he's coming back out again for more food. So, yes, make sure you really wash your hands well before holding them. But also afterwards, because, they have, obviously, they carry salmonella quite badly. So, yes, please wash your hands after. We don't want anyone being ill from holding a snail. I wouldn't want to be ill from holding a snail, especially with salmonella. And yes, we can just about see that second one coming out a bit. They are docile, so even with so many teeth, they can't bite you, so don't worry about that. They may try and eat you. That's happened before when they accidentally mistook me as food because my hand was right next to the leaf. But all it feels like is a gentle tickling, doesn't actually feel painful. And yes, that is about it. So I'm going to try and get some quick snaps of the snails for you right now. I must say, even though they are very cute, they're also kind of creepy, but that doesn't really matter. They can be creepy because of their eyes creep me out a bit. But I mean, like, really, they're pretty cute as well, but as you can see, been proper munching away at that leaf. And that will be it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again in the next video. I may do let me just get them and focus them in. I may do a video about the bee bomi, Athlonopelma seemani, or